Were you ever taught how to read your opponent?
No.
All right, so I'm going to teach you how to do that today. So what a lot of people do when they get into a fight is they'll just stare into their opponent's eyes. Unless your last name was Uchiha, you're really not going to do anything to your opponent by just staring in their eyes. All right.
No.
So what I want you to do is I want you to stare at their shoulder line and at their hips. Now, I don't want you to just stare at their hips and just stare at their shoulders. I want you to stare at the space in between, kind of like a car's windshield. You're going to be scanning for any type of movement. So the reason I want to look at my opponent's hips or their shoulders is, say he throws a strike at me, his shoulders or his hips are going to tell on him first. So say he throws another strike, I'm going to be able to see his movement first, especially when he's very squared. The reason being is that most people are very squared, and when they throw a strike, they're either going to throw with their upper half and their shoulder is going to tell on them, or they're going to move their hips first, and you can read that movement. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So again, what I want to do when I'm trying to read my opponent is I'm going to be scanning between his shoulder line and his hips, because if we start going live, I'm going to be able to see what he's throwing at me, no matter what he's doing, because his body is telling on him. Again, you want to stare at the shoulder line and at the hips. When your opponent is very squared, it's going to be really easy to detect their movements because their hips are facing forward and so are their shoulders. So they're going to have to telegraph whatever they're doing. Now, if you want to get away with that, what you're going to do is you're going to narrow your stance and you're going to throw more linear or straight strikes. The reason being is if I were to just throw a hook, he will see that coming because I'm opening myself up. Now, if we were just standing like this and I threw a strike down in a straight line, it would be harder for him to see it or detect it because his eyes are in a cone shape. Think about if you've ever been driving and someone in front of you hasn't had brake lights and they just stop suddenly. It took you a second to register that they stopped, and then you had to react at the last second. Your eyes are doing the same exact thing when I throw a straight punch. You see how you went back at the last second?
Yeah.
It's a little bit harder, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's how you bypass someone reading you. You kind of get a narrow stance and you throw straighter shots.